Okay guys, let's see the solution of this question. This question is based on concept of nested loops, in which we can see a for loop and another for loop inside this for loop. Okay, so let's see it. I already told you in a video of a statement that if any for loop, like we have a for loop, if we want to execute multiple statement in a for loop, then we are using curly braces, so that for loop multiple statement got executed. But what happens if we are not using any curly braces? Then only the first statement which is written after the for loop got executed. Okay, none of the statements after that are not considered inside the for loop, they are outside the for loop. Okay, hope you get it. So as we can see in this question, we have three variables. First one is I, second one is j, and third one is x, whose initial value is 0. Okay, so as we can see, the first loop we are initiating the value of I, which is 0, and 0 is obviously less than 5. And then as we know that for the for loop the first statement is executed. Okay, so for j, the value of j is I, which means value of j is also 0. J is greater than 0, 0 is greater than 0. If 0 is greater than 0, no, condition is false. Okay, so condition here got false and this statement is not executed. Okay, then again we come to that outer loop, which means that the value of I becomes 1. 1 is less than 5, obviously 1 is less than 5. Then we come here, j equal to I. Now the value of I is 1. That means that the value of j is also becomes 1. And 1 is greater than 0, obviously 1 is greater than 0. Then what happens? X equal to I plus j plus 1, which means 1 plus 1 plus 1. The value of I is 1, j is 1, and for the we have 1 as it is. Then the value of x becomes 3. Then here the value of x is 3. Okay, so now the this loop is executed, which means that now the value of j is decreased by 1, which means that the value of j is becomes 0. Okay, now the condition will check what if 0 is greater than 0. No, 0 is not greater than 0. Then this loop will terminate it. Then outer loop is executed, which means that the value of I becomes now 2. Okay, 2 is less than 5, obviously 2 is less than 5. Then inner loop is got executed, which in which we are initializing the value of j by I. So the value of I is 2, so the value of j is also 2. Okay, so 2 is greater than 0, obviously 2 is greater than 0. Then we calculate the value of x. Okay, so x equal to I plus j plus 1, which means that the value of I is 2, j is 2, and plus 1 and equal to 5, which means that the value of x becomes 5. Okay, so now this this statement got executed, j minus minus, and the value of j becomes 1. Okay, 1 is greater than 0, obviously 1 is greater than 0. Then this statement is got executed, x equal to 1 plus j plus 1. Sorry, I plus j plus 1, which means that the value of I is 2 and the value of j is 1 and plus 1, which means that we get 4. So the value of x becomes 4. Okay, so now the value of j is again decremented by 1. Then we get 0. 0 is not greater than 0, obviously, and this loop got terminated. Now we come to the outer loop, and here the value of I becomes 3. Okay, 3 is less than 5, obviously 3 is less than 5. Then we will come to the inner loop, and we are initializing the value of j by I, which means the value of j now becomes 3. 3 is greater than 0, obviously 3 is greater than 0. Okay, so now x, the value of x is calculated as I plus j plus 1. The value of I is 3, the value of j is also 3, and the value and plus 1. Okay, so x equal to 7. Now the value of x becomes 7. Okay, again j minus minus is computed, which means that the value of j is decreased by 1, and as we know that 2 is greater than 0 is obviously true, so the value of x is again computed, which means that x equal to I plus j. A value of I is 3, j is 2, and plus 1. Okay, the value of x becomes 6. Again the value of j is decremented by 1. Now the value of j is 1 is greater than 0, obviously 1 is greater than 0, which means that the value of x is again computed, and the value of x is 3 plus 1 plus 1, which means 4. So the value of x becomes 4. Okay, now we see that again the value of j is decremented by 0. And then we compare, if 0 is greater than 0, no, 0 is not greater than 0, then the complete condition is false, so this loop got terminated. Now we are coming to the outer loop, in which the value of I is incremented by 1, then the value of I is 4. 4 is less than 5, obviously 4 is less than 5. Okay, again the inner loop got executed. Okay, so I write here j equal to the value of j again becomes 4. Okay, and 4 is obviously greater than 0. Now the value of x is again computed, which means that, hope it is visible here, x equal to I plus j. The value of I is 4, the value of j is 4, and plus 1, that means 9. Okay, the value of x is 9. Here the value of x is 9. Okay, so now what happens, the inner loop is, the decrement condition of inner loop is executed, and the value of j becomes 3. 3 is greater than 0, obviously true. Then the value of x is again computed, which means that x equal to 4 plus 3 plus 1, which means 8. Okay, the value of x is modified and stored 8 in variable. Okay, and the value in 8 is stored in the variable x. Now the value of j is again decremented by 1. 2 is greater than 0, obviously, and then value of x is becomes 7. Okay, and 7 is stored here, not 8. Now value of j is again decremented by 1, which is 1. 1 is greater than 0, obviously, so that the value of x becomes 6. Now at last the value of x becomes 6. Now again the value of j is decremented, which means the value of j becomes 0. 0 is not greater than 0, so condition get false, so this loop got terminated, and we come to the outer loop. Now the value of I becomes incremented by 1, which means 5. 5 is less than 5, condition is false. Okay, so this loop is also terminated. Then we come to outer of this nested loops. Then we have a printf statement, in which the printf statement is printing the value of x, so that we get the value of x as 6. Okay, thanks for watching.